Recording is in progress. Hello, everybody. Daryl Snyder, and look who's back. Brandon Abbey, live from Southern California. Fantasy Sports Logic, it's back, our daily show about the Contrarian Edge Optimizer, both baseball and tonight's a showdown slate. Should be a great game. Eagles and the Vikings. We'll get into that one. Say hello and good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, everyone. Finally, the heat has subsided here in Southern California and the air conditioner is finally off.
It is. The marine layer. Had my walk this morning with this longer sleeve shirt on, and it was a little bit cool. So we had a hurricane pass out to the way out to the west of us and brought in some waves a couple days ago, but things have settled down and it's cooler. I guess we've turned the corner and football's here, so that means fall is almost upon us. There was an early slate. Brandon and I did enter that. We will not touch on that, but by the time all of our viewers, we still have a commanding lead in viewers over that Sportstopia group, but they're taking us serious. I think they're starting to put some measures into play that perhaps they will catch us. So we would appreciate our faithful following to support us and share us on Twitter and everywhere else as possible. So Brandon and I can have some bargaining chips to keep this show alive. It's all supported by viewership. We don't take any donations, never ask for them. We just hope that, our insights inspire a massive amount of what we think will be an Emmy award-winning show in the future. I don't know if it'll be ours. Somebody's will have, awards coming their way. But anyways, enough of that. On to more important things. Fantasy Sports Logic, Brandon and I are both associated with. We have the exclusive home of the Contrarian Edge Optimizer and its multi-player projection data partners, the who's who in the industry, combined over 100 years of experience and our proprietary secret sauce blend. Currently, you can access NBA, no. But MLB and NFL, yes. But NBA's coming. So all sports, one price, $1 test drive for 7 days.
NBA's there, it's just not in season.
That's right. It'll be included. We got it on the, what is it?
I say before you know it. Basketball.
Yeah, somebody said that yesterday, like next month, and I'm thinking, no, not until October. Then I thought, that is next month already. We are flying through 2023 at warp speed. We all were excited to have NFL here. It's here now. Let's embrace it before we're talking about spring training again. But before spring training, we've got quite a battle. The Giants yesterday went down early. My man Harrison didn't pitch, gave up a 2-run homer to the second batter. Casey Schmidt had an error. They were down 4-0 after a half inning. But they rallied, showed a lot of grit, won in extra innings for the second time in that 3-game series. And they are a half a game out of that third wild card spot. So quite a race going down the stretch. The Reds, the Marlins, the Diamondbacks, the Cubs. The Phillies have probably the best position of those wild cards. I think they got number 1. Not locked in, but they've got a few game leads. So talking about those Giants, Brandon, they are in the most favored ballpark for runs, starting a 4-game series in Colorado. So I'm going to guess without looking. We got Logan on the line. Pitching, Logan Webb pitching for the Giants against somebody for Colorado, which
he's pitching against Anderson. Anderson's looking for his first win of the year. And we've got an over under at 10.5 on that one.
10.5, huh? They're respecting Logan. Yeah, he's only 5,200, Anderson, so you could get different with him. I don't recommend it, mostly because I'm a big Giants fan. Brandon, once in a while, he will come out and he'll go against me, and he wins more often than not. Their offense is like, it's just not bad now.
No,
Not been ignited, but
I grew up a Giants fan. I used to go to the games at Candlestick Park and freeze my butt off. Yeah, Giants. If I had to pick a favorite team, it would be the Giants, even though I've been in California for 45
followed by the
years.
Dodgers.
Never really became a Dodger fan, but I would go to a few games. I try to avoid Los Angeles, as you know, after my weekend experience of going to the Coliseum.
It's a great place to network, and I'm not knocking anybody from there. I just don't know how you do it. I mean, I had business in there for many months years ago, and I'd go in and hunker down in a hotel and have people come see me, because taking a taxi from like Beverly Hills to Hollywood was excruciating.
Yeah, back in the day, the difference between working in San Francisco and Los Angeles is, if you wanted to meet somebody after work for a drink in San Francisco, you'd pick a bar and walk to it. In LA, you just don't do it because it could be an hour drive. So
It's insane.
Enough of this commentary.
Right. Well, looking at this slate, Brandon, it looks like Gosman, I think I read he's maybe third in the Cy Young balloting behind a couple other guys. Cole, I think maybe he's leading, and somebody else, Castillo, I think's had a push, but Gosman's been a good strikeout guy. Our man Webb in Colorado, garnering with our proprietary ownership projection that we figure out, running 150 lineups with our providers, and got him a little less than 30%. Mahida against those White Sox that haven't had their hitting shoes on as of late. So Mahida about 46%. Evaldi, low own, 9.7, just under 10. Savale, a pickup for Tampa Bay from the Guardians at the trade deadline. I said Guardians. And then you have, group of hitters. Got Judge, followed by 3 Giants: Tyro, Yaz, and Yak Peterson. They'll be popular today. Elway J's down there. He had the sac fly in the 10th, have the walk-off yesterday. So what do you think? What do you see there in this afternoon slate? It probably won't get as much attention because of the Showdown, the Millie Maker in football tonight, but
yeah, I think everybody's going to be excited about the football game. I would think maybe a Giants stack today, and since they're in Colorado, I might fade Webb, but why don't you see what that looks like for us? What do you like?
I listened to the Sportstopia MLB show. Give those guys a plug. They need it. They need some viewership to catch up with our commanding lead on them. The 9:30 a.m. show with Drew and Mr. Crawford. They liked, and I kind of like it. Could be a sneaky one. They liked Minnesota. They liked that Lewis. He had a streak going with grand slams in a short amount of time. That was insane. He's 4,900, but definitely can get you some points. Kind of like that. I like Julian in the leadoff spot against the White Sox. So a Minnesota stack. We'll see. Kurloff, they talked about. He's batting number 2. And then the Rangers, all of a sudden, they went from super hot in the beginning of the year to in a big funk that I didn't think they were going to pull out of. They scored 10 runs, shut out Toronto last night, who's now in a free fall, 10-0. So they've had 10 runs, 2 games in a row, and they said Corey Seager. He's right here batting second, 6,600. So that's almost Acuna pricing, right?
Yeah.
Price will keep him less than 10% owned according to our projections, but he can definitely on a slate like this be a difference maker. So I'm going to think kind of focus in on the Giants, the Twins, and the Rangers as my favorite stacks. You got Texas going against Gosman, so probably contrarian there, huh? Probably a lot of people think Gosman will come in and shut him out, or shut him down. I don't know about shutting him out. Texas definitely, with Mr. Bochy leading the helm in his first year, right? I think they are now 2 games ahead of Toronto for that wild card. So that's a big game. That would be definitely a stack on your own. But if it pops, it puts you in pretty nice shape. Baltimore, Tampa Bay, good game. Bradish, he's another guy that surprisingly he's in the top 5 for Cy Young. Had a great year for Baltimore against I saw Arozma. I don't know if that's how you say his name, or Arozarena, the big slugger. He rocketed one out yesterday, and then the Astro guy. He had a hit. Record for Astros that left the bat 117 miles an hour. I watched the replay.
Could you see
it? He swung that ball. Oh, it was it was just like he just stood. The only question was a fair foul. It looked like it stayed inside the foul pole, but 117 miles an hour. I mean, he just like, I don't know if you can hit it anymore in the sweet spot, but anyways, they aren't, Astros aren't playing today. I think they finally got one from the A's. A's gave them all they wanted. How do you say that name? Arozarena?
Arozarena.
Arozarena. I like it. It flows. 3 syllables. Arozarena. Is that 3? Aroza? Rosa. That might be 3 and another one, 4.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a much better way to say it than I was saying it. He 5,200, a lot of power, batting third against, it would be contrarian against Bradish, but let's see what we have here. We will let people know that pretty good pricing. I asked you the other day, you never did tell me how much is $1 divided over 7 days.
$1 divided by 7 days.
Yeah.
I don't know, 17 cents a day or something.
17 cents a day. They can get access to the optimizer with MLB and NFL. All the providers, our secret sauce blend. Probably the deal of a lifetime. And then I had a conversation with our partners at 4deep.com. Benny Ricciardi, who runs the bets business over there. He's one of the partners with Tommy G and Nicole Valencia.
It's a good organization.
Yeah, they're featured on the sportstopia.io site under the partners tab. If you go join their community, you actually get a discount code to the optimizer. But I let him know, Brandon. I'll let you know. I think you do know. These prices, the monthly $29.97 and the VIP lifetime one-time all sports $299.97. I won't give an exact date, but I will let you know they're going to be moving up soon because I think they're just so inexpensive that we're not being taken serious. But now the cat's out of the bag. I think it's our show. That's kind of,
it must be doing it.
Inspired a few. That's becoming more than a few. Anyways, those are the prices. We have fun with this show. If we didn't, we wouldn't do it. people made us do it, we'd say no, but we do it. In fact, it was opposite. They told us not to do it anymore, and we revolted, and we said we're gonna challenge you guys at Sportstopia to attract the masses. But anyways, what would you like me to click on? I don't know if we talk about it a lot. We sort of take it for granted, but the reason it's called the Contrarian Edge Optimizer is we have a contrarian mode. It's default on. You can turn it off. If you don't want to be different, you say, I don't want to be different like Brandon and Daryl, please put the contrarian mode on off. Or you can go on, and it seeks out the lower owned, perhaps greater value players.
The diamonds in the rough.
What?
The diamonds in the rough.
That's right. No pun intended on MLB. The diamonds, the diamond players in the rough. And then we went through some excruciating. If you want to go back into the archives, if you're bored and have insomnia at night, go into our YouTube channel and check out some of the older YouTube videos, and you'll see the excruciating pain we went through waiting for the auto stack attack mode. Literally, Brandon and I. He went through, I think, 3 cups of coffee that one time waiting for it to get to the numbers right, but it is lightning fast right now.
Cups or pots?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to let you pick. How many players would you like to stack on this late slate, or the main, I guess it is?
I'm going to go with my 4.
I'm going to go 4, which means every lineup from all the providers will have what we believe to be 4 of the best. And then I've calculated that pretty quickly. We've got generate lineups. We're going to go into auto stack, which gives you the opportunity to go into stack attack mode. Again, you want to let it do its calculations here. Boom. Got a little orange, meaning we're ready to rumble. Stack attack mode is off. We're going to turn it on. That means you're going to get super diverse. What would you like to point out, Brandon? I don't know if you want to prompt any of these, but what's this pro settings option availability here?
Oh, you can go down and fade a team that you think is not going to do very well today. And
Oakland's not there, so we can't pick on them. And you know what? They came back against the Astros and showed us that's not always a great thing to do. Is there anybody that you just absolutely positively say, I don't think anybody in that lineup's going to click? I have a team, but I'm going to let you maybe pick one out first.
Well, you want to fade Colorado, don't you?
That wasn't my first choice. I knew you were going to say that. That's always dangerous. They came back and beat the Cubs. I tried that yesterday. So the guys the main guy I was afraid of is he clicked. Bryant's back playing for them after missing most of the year, and he had a home run, and I think McMahon had a home run. But no, there's another team on there that I'm definitely not afraid of fading.
The White Sox.
There you go. Yeah. You want to fade them, or you want to? Is there anybody that you absolutely not want to?
Let's fade them. Let's see what happens.
Okay. I'll leave the Rockies in there unless you convince me otherwise, but it's Colorado. Logan Webb could go on that altitude. I think he's going to go as long as he can go. They had Duvall do a four out save. He came in second and third, 2 outs, with 2 outs in the top of the 9th, and he got the ground out, and then he came in lights out. They didn't score in the 10th. So I think Webb will be pushed to go as far as he can go today, but Colorado, I'll leave him in for you. I probably would have faded him, but we'll see. You got to make sure you do what I almost didn't do. Save. If you want to get more exposure on any players, like if you like Tyro a lot, which after I commented he didn't get the ball out of the infield 2 days ago, he had 3 hits, maybe 4 yesterday. So I think he listens to our podcast and mentally pumped him up. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe I mean, not. Just like we're doing for the Sportstopia guys, we're making sure they get their game on.
Right, there you go. But if you want to boost any of these giants, you can. I like Julian. It's a pretty simple thing to do. You can just say, yes, I'm gonna like you. I give you, show up in 50% of my lineups, 40, 30, whatever. I won't mess with it right now. I'll save the fate of the White Sox. Let it do its calculations again.
There you go.
Here we go. We're ready, finally, to see what is like today.
Bet there's some twins in there. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Maheda against those White Sox. See, you liked us for that. And Gosman is the blend of Sport Radar, RotoWire, FTN Data, Sports Data IO, and the Baker. Combined 50,000 simulation of today's game. This is our secret sauce, the lineup of choice. Outside of the two pitchers, Patrick Bailey, who came off the DL yesterday and played, they optioned Bart back to the minors. Bailey had a great year since being called up. He was down concussion symptoms, but he came back yesterday. There's Kurloff. That's the Twins guy that they talked about on Sportstopia with Julian, the guy I like. I like that in Castro. That lineup right there, I would say it's probably very favorable. It could do well, but what is our disclaimer, Brandon?
Well, this is just for entertainment purposes, and there's certainly no guarantees that if you take these lineups and put them into a site like DraftKings or FanDuel, we're not guaranteeing any success, but we're sure you will have fun doing it. And again, it's just for your own personal enjoyment purposes, and that's how we roll.
That's very good. You're right. I wasn't even going to play because I've got the Millie Maker tonight, and my goal at the beginning of the year is to win not one but two Millie Makers, and you know what you have to do to win two, Brandon?
You have to win one first.
There you go. Yep. So I focus on Millie Maker days, which is tonight and Sunday, and I think they might have one on Monday in DraftKings. We do allow you to choose lineups for either DraftKings or FanDuel, so I'm not excluding either one. They might have Millie Makers as well. They did have last week, and I got a free coupon, and I totally missed it. But anyways, I wasn't going to play baseball, but because I think the blend is trying to get my attention with the Giants in there, right? You got Yak and Yaz and Davis and Bailey, and then you have those twins that I was excited about. I like this lineup a lot. So what I'm going to do, how many do you want to see? How many variations of that blend?
Give me 20.
20?
Yeah.
Okay. You can go up to 150 max. Brandon wants to see 20. I do too, if I can keep it from running away from me. There it goes. Going to generate. I'm going to throw a CSV file somewhere up here, I believe.
You didn't have to fade the White Sox because it looks like the optimizer faded them anyway.
No, I did. I put them out.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't fade the Rockies. So it gave you, you can see the exposure, diversity. With auto stack, you're going to get pretty diverse. So 20 lineups, going to give you stacks, 3 of the Yankees, 3 Red Sox, 2 Tampa Bay, 2 Texas, 2 Toronto, 2 Twins, 2 Giants, 2 Baltimore. Ooh, having a hard time with that 2 Colorado stack. Probably when Brandon's not around, I'll sneak back and fade those Rockies, but it gave us 2. And let's see, you're saying, well, okay, what does that mean? A bunch of numbers I want to see more closely. Whew. Man, that was so fast. You can even have had a sip of coffee that time. Doesn't get 2 cups before. And here it shows you a little bit of diversity. Savali and Maheda. Savali and Gosman. Michael King. Was he a Yankee pitcher? Yeah, definitely would be different.
Mm-hmm.
Some Giants in there. You got some Tampa Bay Rays in this one with Gosman and King. A few Gosman and Kings. Bradish and Schmidt. King must be a Boston pitcher. But Schmidt's the Yankee, unless there's going to be an opener. And if there is, I wouldn't play an opener unless he's a Giants opener that Manea, or Jacob Junis sometimes are worth a dart. But look, there's Bradish and Houck. Seeing a lot of Giants by good reason. Even in the non-stops because it's Coors Field. So I'm liking the looks of this.
Yeah.
I really like the first one. But here's 20 different ones. What I'm going to do, I don't think I saved it in the, go back on this one and run it again. Get to the blend.
So
See if I can.
one of the things the guys are working on, which I think is going to be very nice, is you'll be able to go through these and just click off on the ones that you like. Say there are 15 of them that you want to take out of the 20. You'll be able to click on those and then create a separate CSV file and take it to wherever you want to take it. So that's in the works. And
that was inspired by Mr. Abbey. So you can run 150, right? And go through and just click out if you want to play one single entry or a max 3 or a 20.
Yeah.
Very nice feature.
Yeah.
We believe, and we have been told by others, so it's not just our belief, that there is more value and functionality here than any other place in the optimizer space. But that's for the user to determine. As far as value, try to create as much value as possible. So what I was going to do, I'm going to go back to the 20 and we hit the lineup again. It's going to do, if I can get the CSV to come up. Didn't see it. Maybe because I'm in this, maybe because I have the, let me try something. I've got it in full screen mode. Let me take it down here and try it again.
You got the CSV up. It just disappeared there.
You saw it?
Yeah, it was up in the right-hand corner.
See, your eyes are better than mine. Well, I'm going to go get it again because with this particular computer, I've got it. People want to know how to do this, and this is a Mac. Let me see if I can do it again. Let me know. Oh, there it is. You're right. Okay, I'm going to save it because I'll probably end up playing a little bit in that. There it goes. That means it's saved and I can upload it to DraftKings in this case. And we just went through the same thing, X out of this, and going to show you those lineups again. You won't see when you get the optimizer this is because I have admin. So if you say that's distracting, that's totally just my thing. Hey, Brandon, what do we have here that almost nobody has?
What do we have?
A phone number.
Oh, yeah. We actually answer it too. It's surprising.
I've actually talked to people and they go, wow, it really works. Yeah.
Are you the Daryl?
Yeah. Right. Oh, yes.
We're under 20 minutes to the start of the first early slate.
Nice. 9:15. Yeah, I think it starts. When does the first game start?
Starts in 19 minutes and 42 seconds.
Nice. Excited about that. Played a little
9:40.
micro. Well, we showed that. Let's jump over. I know you're excited. We're gonna have RC Fisher again from FF Metrics. He is one of our providers inside the football. He's not a baseball guy. He's had a site for over 10 years. FF Fantasy Football Metrics.
He knows this
.com. Very entertaining last week, and We're hoping to uncover some nuggets, some morsels, just like what the Sportstopia guys are doing right at this moment at 9 o'clock Pacific noon. Hate to cut into their traffic, but we got to pull out all strings to try to keep that advantage. But no, that's a great show over there. Definitely going to go check out the replay when we're finished here in about 4 hours. No, when we're finished here. Promise to have you out of here by
I'm out of coffee. I still have water.
if we go for 4 or 5 hours, I'm going to have my cocktails warming up for the tailgating for the Eagles, and that's Ed's team.
And what
kind of
cocktail might that be?
Ed Williams, director of content, formerly of NBCSports.com, and Roto World is the man heading up Sportstopia and his team. He's a big Eagles fan, so he's probably going to be getting ready for the game. He probably already is. I talked to him. I didn't Zoom with him. He probably had his Eagles garb on already. So let's see what's happening. You have NFL, DraftKings, FanDuel, multiple slates that are already loaded for you. Showdowns, Sunday's main, Sunday to Monday, Thursday to Monday. We're going to focus on not the early only, which I clicked on. Let it run through. We're going to focus on that game I was referring to, Vikings, Eagles. Look at the providers we have here, and we even have one missing. Stats Perform still struggling technically to get their data in there. We've had them in baseball, football. It's like many layers of security, which we're working on together. But there's FF Metrics, the Baker engine, our proprietary secret sauce blend, FTN data, RotoWire Sports Radar, Sports Data IO. We believe they are the best of the best, simulating up to maybe a little over 50,000 different outcomes of a showdown slate. We project ownership. Obviously, it's 2 teams, so ownership's going to be pretty high. It's interesting. I don't see anybody all the way locked in. Kirk Cousins at 58% projected. I'm thinking I'll be lighter on him, but he could be.
That's in a flex position, not a captain position. So
very good. You pointed that out. Yeah, and the captain, you can see you have captain here in flex. The number 1 captain, no surprise. I think you said you ran a lineup with him, right?
Yeah, Jalen,
Mr. Hurts. They started out. They lead 14-0 over New England, or 17-0, and all of a sudden it was 17-14, and they were in a game, and it was I think it was raining there. The weather was New Englandish, if that's a word, New Englandish. I'm excited about this game tonight. Hopefully it's not the bummer of a Jets Buffalo, right? Jeez.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't lose a quarterback in the first 3 minutes of the game.
That was like, it comes running out with the flag. The fans are going crazy. And I talked to, was on with Benny from 4 Deep yesterday, and he was at the game. He said it was like the craziest. He said it was electric, right? The crowd. Yeah. And then it went to like, he was afraid to talk in his normal voice because everybody could hear. Everybody just went like, right? And then they sat there for 3 quarters, he said, and Buffalo had the 13-3 lead, right? And it was like, it was just, he said it was, in his words, just very strange. And then they had that pass with Wilson to Wilson, right? Or Wilson to Wilson. Is that the receiver that made the great catch?
Yeah. Came back and won the game.
Yeah. So tonight, let's hope and pray there's no serious injuries to anybody on the on either side, but you're going to have those top 2 guys there. Actually, the top. You got Hurts, Jefferson, Brown, Cousins, Devontae, Hawkinson, those guys are definitely going to be what I would suggest as core to build your team around. But you'll find out more often than not, it's going to be somebody that most people can't click on. Last week, I couldn't click on any of the kickers, and that cost me dearly. Because after Rogers went down, I think you never know, right, what it's going to do. But ended up being the optimal was Diggs, captain with Allen, even though he had a horrible game.
And the Jets defense too.
Jets defense, the two kickers, and somebody else. Oh, the running back was the optimal. I think the guy took down the million by himself without lineup, I believe. Anyways, tonight, Eagles defense is good. I like it to be a little more wide open. I think the Vikings, Jefferson, he's the kind of guy on a stage like this where he can show what he's got. And we talked about it earlier before we came on the air, Brandon. I think the Eagles have 3 defensive back safeties, 2 DBs and a safety out. They have Gainwell out. So you got Swift, who didn't see much last week. He's there. Definitely will be someone that people are looking at. He's projected only 7% ownership. If it's going to be that low, I like him. I love Osborne. If he's less than 1% owned, the Eagles D, a lot of people like me aren't thinking that's a play, but they are good. If you remember, they made it happen last year. Dallas Goedert at tight end, 20% owned. Definitely will be looking at him and the captain in some situations. Here's another wild card, the other back that will be active. They're going to have a 3-headed monster in the backfield. It's going to be Swift, Penny, and Boston Scott. Again, Philly, if you remember last year with Miles Sanders, you never can predict, right? Some games he did great. Some Boston Scott came in. Some Gainwell came in. So they like to make the other coaches think. And they traded for Swift. I don't think he was hardly involved last week. So I got to think with Gainwell out, he's going to get some touches. He's the kind of guy out of the backfield that could take it to the house. Scott knows the system. Penny, he's from Seattle. Speaking of 4 deep, they're messaging me right now about some exciting news. Okay, what do you like, Brandon? I mean, there's only $1 million on top, so it's not a critical decision if you happen to float one lineup in there. I know you're a low stakes player, but I think tonight $15. I'm not going to get crazy, but I may, I'll admit it right now. I have 7 lineups because I love the lucky 7, and it would be a great story tomorrow, Brandon, to tell you everybody how you and I are going to be celebrating out on Catalina over the weekend, enjoying the $1 million takedown. Brandon lives close to the coast access in Catalina. And are there any bars out on Catalina Island that we could celebrate the Millie Maker?
A few bars that we could celebrate at.
And do they have a ship that takes us there so we don't have to drive over a big bridge?
Yes, they do. And there's no bridge.
There's no bridge?
We're talking Catalina, right? Not Coronado?
Yeah, Catalina.
Yeah.
Oh, is it farther? Is it farther away than Coronado from land?
27 miles across the sea.
I knew that. Making light of things that people don't really care about. They want us to get back to football. So okay. But who you want me to lock in the captain?
don't lock in anybody. I think it's going to give us a choice of. I think we'll get some lineups with Hertz and some with Cousins and maybe a couple with Jefferson. So
We'll
don't
do
lock in.
that. We'll do that. I want to point out one more thing, and I would invite the millions of potential viewers of this podcast to join in with RC here in 2.5 hours to watch. But I have a sneaky liking for, I don't even know if you knew who he was, but he's the other running back opposite of Madison. Ty Chandler, $1,200, right? And 17% owned. So other people have the same idea. But he could be, he's kind of the, I'm not going to say he's got the talent of a Swift, but he's that sort of a back. He's not the bruiser that Madison is. Let's see what, and I'll be honest, I haven't ran any lineups yet, so we'll see what the optimizer has to say. Man, is it fast. I mean, it was so waiting for me to push that button that it already had made its decision. Proprietary blend of Baker, FF Metrics, FTN Data, RotoWire, Sport Radar, Sports Data IO, likes, Mr. Hertz, Mr. Brown, Kirk Cousins, DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson, and Rashad Penny. Not a bad looking lineup. Definitely not anybody there I would say no. Baker, never a bad choice to put Devontae in the captain with Hertz and your flex, Cousins to Hawkinson to Addison. There you're getting a little different. Who's the fade on both of those? That's surprising.
Jefferson.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
You're going to be ahead of the field. What is Jefferson? Jefferson is projected 16% owned, maybe because he's priced, but well, I'm telling you, that's a slippery, dangerous slope. But if you're right, you know, they're thinking, I mean, the Eagles are the only thing I don't know if this is factoring in is that the defensive back situation, and I don't think I'm wrong on that. Let me check just to make sure I'm not putting out there what would be referred to in the political world as fake news. We aren't going to get into politics ever. Let's see. Minnesota or Philly. You can find all this information probably really quickly on sportstopia.io, but
Now, can you find it and not have to listen to us for an hour?
not have to what?
Not have to listen to us for an hour?
Yeah. Well, if they, you know, what good thing about this is that they can always X out of us.
Actually, just spend $1, try it for a week, enjoy all the things we have to offer, and then you'll get addicted and sign up, and we'll have you for a month or a lifetime.
Eagles have safety, Reed Blankenship out, and James Bradbury cornerback out, and Fletcher Cox defensive tackle out. So those three guys on the defense, I don't know. That makes me with Vikings. I mean, they're all Osborne is in play. Addison, the rookie out of Southern Cal that set a land speed record in his Ferrari during spring training. I don't know if it was a record. He got a ticket clocked in the like 170 miles an hour. You told me, right? He got his bonus and he was interviewed and said, what are you going to do with that big bonus for signing? And said, I'm going to buy a Ferrari. And he did. And he proved it. He wasn't drinking or anything. And I think it was a speeding misdemeanor. I mean, back in the day, I saw a comment. I was never, well, I rode with a guy. I brokered Highline automobiles and Porsche turbos, 944s and 911s.
Mhm.
They were scary fast. And I went with a guy on the country roads, and I've had to tell him to stop because it was so, so I think everybody has that temptation, right? To go out where nobody is. And I think Addison, I didn't see it, but he was on some big highway with nobody around but a policeman, I guess. He was testing the horsepower. Anyways, he is a talented receiver. I know he was chosen on a lot of best ball teams as kind of the target opposite of Jefferson. So there's Swift in the captain. Not a bad thing. Cousins in the captain. Another Cousins in the captain, another Cousins. Look like we have some Cousins. Let's see what the blend likes to do. We're going to run, just to see how diverse, we're going to run 150. Just saw we update these every 45 minutes. More important when you get closer. Football's not like basketball, which I did see. Did you see that? I sent it to you, Brandon. They're trying to make a rule where they're maintenance. They can't sit as much this year.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they passed it. And then baseball, you do get some scratches. You got to edit your lineup. Football, normally very rare in practice that somebody, unless they get sick or something from food, but so you don't have to watch for the changes. Multi-lineup generational run status. We ran through an update, so let me see if it's gonna, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Hold on a second here. We're gonna run, it updated. That's one thing you'll wanna watch because we update every 45 minutes. You'll wanna refresh. So I'm gonna go back to the Showdown. I'm gonna let it do its thing. Again, if you like somebody and you want them in every one of your lineup as captain or flex, you could lock them in. We didn't. There's that. I'm going to take 150 of the blend. And we're going to say do its thing. Now, well, there's a CSV. I'm not going to run it because I'll probably want to do some tweaking. Let's see what it gave us. Here are the 150. First group with Hertz, all different. You got Eagles defense with Hertz, would be interesting. Rashad, Penny, Brown. So what is that? That is will definitely be different. You got Hertz, Eagles D, AJ, Penny, and two Vikings, Cousins and Hawkinson. I'm seeing that combo a lot in this and just a high level view, but for that to happen, it's not, I mean, the Eagles take, Cousins, he's a great passer, but he's been known to throw a pick 6 or 2, right? So all of a sudden the Eagles defensive line puts pressure, knowing their defensive backfield is a little bit short. So all of a sudden they take one to the house, maybe, what do they call it? A scoop and score. Pick 6 is when you intercept, and a scoop and score is when you pick up a fumble, right? They've got names for everything, just like the sweeper, a new pitch in the baseball thing. But scoop and score, you would that would be different. And if something like that happens, it would put you in pretty good shape. Hertz is going to be in the captain. Excuse me. So, anyways, there's our man Jefferson and Hertz, Cousins. What do you notice about this lineup? Nope. Yeah. What do you notice about this lineup that stands out right here? You got Hertz, Jefferson, Swift, Cousins, Eagles, Penny. Something I definitely see that's different.
Well, you're adding a lot of really top performers, and you've got Penny in there. I think Penny's a good one to have in. I mean, he only had I think three carries last week or something, or one carry for 3 yards, but they're going to lean on him this week, I believe. What are you saying that I'm not there?
Well, it's called running Hurts naked. And what I mean by naked is there's no receivers. You
Oh,
got Hurts in the captain, which he can run the ball, right? He can dump off to Swift or Penny. So you got the 2 running backs. That's going to be really contrarian. And then you got Jefferson with Cousins, and you have an Eagles defense. That lineup, that's worth a shot. But I'm going to take a picture of that lineup because that's so different that, I mean, Jefferson could nuke. They call nuke when you, right? When you go off on, takes one to the house. I'm going to take a picture and bring that up to, you didn't get really, I mean, what you got different in a couple ways. You got both running backs, right? So you're trying to decide between Swift and Penny, right?
mm-hmm.
And so the only guy that can fly into the ointment is Boston Scott. You're watching the game, you have this lineup, and he comes in and he gets like the first touchdown. And you're like, no, that wasn't supposed to happen. But you gotta, you only have so many things to pick from, right? You can't like, you gotta make a stand, as one of my favorite players, Big T, said last year, and it stuck with me. So I like that a lot. So probably the potentially millions watching this are going to make that a very popular stack, and we'll tie. We'll celebrate out on Catalina Island a Millie Maker victory where we netted $1 because a million other people had it.
Well, now
I
that
don't
we
think there's that many choices tonight in the let me see how many lineups are available in the 15. No, I was way off. Only 71,016, and I guarantee all 71,000 won't play that. So we may have a couple of beers or a glass of red wine for you. I know you're more of a wine drinker. We have to call ahead, see if they have long drink out there anywhere.
actually, I know they do because they have a grocery store on the island, and they do carry long drink because that's the first place they have it.
For those of you that don't know, they don't know it yet, but they're targeted to be one of our sponsors because it is my favorite beverage. The Finnish like Finland, the 1950s. Miles Teller's part owner, Ricky Fowler, I believe. Go to thelongdrink.com, check it out. It is a delicious beverage. It's still a little early here to have one. It's only 12:30 on the East Coast, so what's that rule? 5 o'clock.
Baseball games are on, so.
Anyways, I like that. I mean, there's 150, right? Hertz is a lot of the captain. Let's see where we get him out of captain mode here. It likes Hertz and the captain a bunch. See if it doesn't like him anywhere. It likes him. So there's Osborne. I like him. It's interesting, Brandon. It's like pretty much, I've never seen it be this adamant. It's got him everywhere.
Yeah. Probably have every possible combination you could have there.
What is he? Very interesting. I didn't accidentally lock him in, did I? I don't see a lock on him. Let me go back and see. That's rare. No, interesting. Let me show one more thing and then we'll get off the air here. We could go into pro settings and we could get global max exposure on a 150, and let's just say I don't want Hertz, in every lineup. It can go down to 50%, say at 60. Whatever. You don't want to, I'd probably go higher, go 60 maybe. You could bump these up or down, minimum exposure. AJ, if I wanted to, be different, like I talked about, some of those players, sneaky players, right? There's only 2 teams, so you can't get super sneaky. And because of shows like this and other people are starting to, tie in, no pun intended, to the people like Ty Chandler, who's opposite of Madison. Blah blah blah. You can get. I read about him. I don't know if you remember. He was a Falcons. I think he had three catches or 3 targets. Receiver that could be a sneaky play. You probably couldn't have named him, but last year when Goddard was hurt, Jack Stoll was a reserve tight end that he could have been. So anyways, I set the max. Let's just see what the difference did. Let's see if we eliminated all of the hurts in one. Might have to see what happens.
Wasn't locked.
Huh?
He wasn't locked.
No, but because the blend had him, right? I mean, I could have won. Now that I set this, let's see one. Welcome. Go back into pro. Go down to 60. You can set it whatever you want. These are just examples of what can be done. I'll set there. If you want to fade anybody, you can. Hurts, Devontae Kirk. Let's see what happens now when I run a 150 with the blend, with the diversity. There's Hurts and Cousins and Hawkinson and Swift and Penny and AJ. There you notice the max exposure 60% there through the DSV. If I wanted to run this, there we go. There's Hurts, there's Cousins, more Cousins. Still likes Hurts a lot.
Yeah.
So far, only Hurts and Cousins. Oop, there we go.
Jefferson.
Mr. Jefferson. So Hurts, Cousins, and Jefferson. And this is a blend. You'll notice that each one of the blends were a little bit different, but the blend definitely flavored. There's another Jefferson. You got Jefferson, Hurts down to the flex, Cousins, Hawkinson. There's our boy, Boston Cream Scott. You ever had a Boston Cream donut?
I'm sure I have.
They have powdered sugar and custard inside of them, and oh my God, they used to be so addicting. But
I'm
I haven't.
a fashion guy.
I gave up Boston Cream. There's another Jefferson. See if we get any more diversity here.
I got a few AJ Browns in the captain spot when I did.
That would be a good one. Nothing's bad if we had a crystal ball, which is what we try to do with all this information. There you go, Jefferson, 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 Jefferson. A lot of Jefferson, which I mean, I would never feel bad if you play Jefferson, which again, I think more than what's projected you're gonna have to get different. And this could be Ty Chandler in a Jefferson, Boston Scott in a Jefferson, Madison. It's not so different, but some of these combinations with Jefferson in there. Let's see if I can find the Browns that you're talking about. Not in this, but again, you go back to some of the different blends, or not different blends, but different providers. You got Devontae, Kirk Cousins, DeAndre, some decisions to make, but I think RC will point out some things for us on that. If I don't end this, it's gonna run right headlong into it, but that's in a couple hours. But it's been good. Any closing comments, Brandon?
Good luck to everyone. Have some fun.
I echo those comments 100%. Thank you. I'm gonna end the recording.